Hi, this is Maggie. Today I'm doing the chart of Ray Charles, born Ray Charles Robinson. Um, yeah, the greatest musician of all time. Elvis, everyone emulated him. He's the greatest American artist. So we don't have an exact birth time for him. So Ray Charles was born September 23rd, 1930 in Albany, Georgia at 12, had to put 12 p.m. So he endured so many obstacles um, in his lifetime. You know, first of all, his sun is on the cusp of Virgo and Libra. So, he wasn't born blind, but he became blind about age 5. I believe he had glaucoma. So he had a pretty rough childhood. He endured segregation, yeah. So the Sun and Mercury in um, Virgo would be health problems, but he overcame them. He had incredible strength. Also, his first house, Aries, he has Uranus and the North Node in Aries. So he had to liberate himself and learn to be independent. Um, and he revolutionized his North Node is in Aries as well. So he is a pioneer in music, and he revolutionized the whole fusion of, rhythm and blues, jazz, country, gospel, everything. He just, yeah, and rock as well. So he was the forerunner. He was the pioneer of all of that. Of course, there's John Lee Hooker and all, Robert Johnson and all of those guys as well. But Ray Charles is forerunner, and that's Uranus and Aries. And also, he has his North Node in Aries, so he was meant to make his mark through his personality, and his personality is really unpredictable and lively, very lively if you've ever seen him perform. His planets in Cancer, he has quite a few planets in Cancer. I'll get to those in a moment, but his health problems that he endured, the Sun, Mercury would rule the eyes, so that he did have, was blind. Sun, Mercury in Virgo would be that health problem, and Neptune as well. And they're in opposition to Pisces. So the opposition would indicate health problems. So the Sun is 29 degrees Virgo, and the Mercury is 26 degrees. It's in Dominion, it's exalted in Virgo. However, it's very close to the Sun. It's almost combusts the Sun, and the opposition is Pisces. And he also has Neptune in Virgo. So Neptune can be like nebulous. It's the ruler of Pisces. It can be hard to diagnose, and it's in its detriment as well in Virgo. So he did have some health problems. Yeah, he did go to rehab, and a lot of musicians do, yeah, so yeah, but he overcame and endured so many things. So let me get to his Cancer. His Cancer, he has Mars, planet of action, endurance, initiative, power, drive. It's the ruler of Aries, and it's conjunct Jupiter, the good luck planet of expansion. So Mars, he's got Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto, all in a pretty tight conjunction. Pluto is 20 degrees Cancer. That's the ruler of Scorpio. So he just has this magnetic attraction. And Mars is 15 degrees, and Jupiter is 17 degrees. So they're all in a very tight conjunction. And they're trining his Venus in Scorpio. So that's very intuitive, sensitive, and he used that to compose and write, and use that in his music, and it gave him great powers of attraction. I don't know how many wives he's had, and children, a lot of children. Venus in Scorpio is very, it really has the powers of attraction, very sexual in nature. I don't know what house he has it in because we don't have an accurate birth time for him, but Venus in Scorpio, he's very, very dynamic, very dynamic. But he has these beautiful trines, and they're trining. His Venus in Scorpio is trining his 3 planets in Cancer. So although he was blind, he had inner vision. He could see musically. That's how he saw his world. And although, with Pluto, he endured segregation, discrimination, all kinds of, things, but he was able to overcome them. And his Venus in Scorpio helped him, because people were drawn to him. I mean, people copied him. People copied him and got credit for, his work, but because there's only one Ray Charles. Stevie Wonder, that was his mentor. Elvis, I'm sure that was his mentor. There's only one, and that's his originality. The Uranus is liberator, pioneer. It's unique. It's the ruler of Aquarius, and Aquarius is just different. It's different, and Aries is very unique. It wants to be first, wants to be the pioneer, wants to be number one, and he was, and still is. And so the North Node in Aries as well, he made a mark with his personality. His personality was very dynamic, and his originality, his original work. But his intuition is exceedingly strong. He has Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, in a mutual reception with also Mars is the ruler of Scorpio and Aries. So he has both of those, both rulers of Scorpio in Cancer, and they're trining his Venus in Scorpio. So no wonder he had so many children and wives, and because he really had the dynamics of attraction, power, and he probably knew it. I'm sure he knew it. And being on the road, he could get anyone he wanted, So he really had a very, very powerful intuition, sensitivity, passion, and sexuality. And Venus also would be joint finances in Scorpio. So he made a lot of money through his intuition, his writing. I don't know if he played by ear. Of course he played by ear. So Mars gave him ambition and drive. Pluto gave him intensity, and conjuncting Jupiter, and then trining Venus in Scorpio. It's just phenomenal. That phenomenal what he did with that, because he used all his senses, all his, he just was a powerhouse, and he could just see, he could see musically. in spite of his health problems, in spite of those, in spite of being blind and going to rehab and the addictions, and that again, the addiction would be Neptune oppose, and his planets in Virgo oppose Pisces. Neptune's the ruler of Pisces, so yeah, that can denote addiction as well. And a lot of musicians suffer from that. He has Saturn in Capricorn, so that's endurance, perseverance. It's the ruler of Capricorn. It's cardinal angle Capricorn. So he rose to the top. He worked very, very hard. From childhood, everything was a struggle. I believe Aries, he had to fight his way through pretty much probably everything, fight his way to the top and show his talent. But getting signed with Atlantic, and I think he got signed pretty young, because he was a phenomena. And so that's good luck. That's Venus. Venus in Scorpio is getting signed with a label. And Venus trining Jupiter is good luck. They're both benefics. Venus is what you like, beauty, good luck with joint finances. And Jupiter is expanding. And then Jupiter-Mars is expanding his ambition, his drive. Pluto just adds like dynamite to that. And of course they signed him very, very young. And, this Saturn in Capricorn, he worked hard all his life. Yeah, so his planets are kind of in a bowl. His moon is in Libra, so he had a very pleasing, I can't even say it, demeanor. Very pleasant demeanor. If you see him perform, he's always smiling. Yeah, and Libras frequently have dimples, or they're good looking, or they have a pleasant voice. He had a great voice. And of course he was in the arts, musician, singer, songwriter. But he's got some serious squares going on, like a T-square from Libra, moon in Libra. The sun is kind of on the cusp, but the moon in Libra, Uranus in Aries brought him difficulty, extreme difficulty to his physical body, if he does have Aries first house. But he rose above it. The North Node in Aries could be, your physical body, your personality. So I already talked about that. And they're squaring Cancer, the home. So he lost his mother at a very young age. That would be Pluto. Pluto and Mars in Cancer. Pluto, they're malefics, They're the end. He was orphaned, I think, at age 5 or 6. So that's his mother. He lost his mother at a very, very young age. Excuse me. However, having Jupiter, that helped him. Let's get some ice water. That helped him, and he had Venus to the rescue. Venus rescued him through his music, through getting signed. But his mother was tough. She was tough. It was like tough love with her. She pretty much said, you got to find your own way through the streets of New York. You got to learn how to do things yourself. You're not stupid, and just tough love, tough love. Yeah, so Pluto and Mars and Cancer, those are malefics, but he did have Jupiter as well, helping him. Saturn built structure, gave him structure in his life, in his career. Neptune is trining Saturn, so that Neptune is music. That's his career, his 6th house. Well, Virgo, rules work and health, so he had both going on, his work and his health. And so they're trining Capricorn, his career. So he used his Saturn trining Neptune. That's music in his work through his career. It's beautiful, beautiful trines, but he also had many, many obstacles in his life to endure, to get through, just living in the 30s for one thing, and being born in Albany, Georgia. Thankfully, he moved to New York, but still segregation was on, and just, that's his Pluto and Mars in Cancer kind of spells that out. Jupiter was a benefic right on top of Mars, but that helped him through the hardships that he had to endure, through losing his mother and all of that stuff going on. And those are the squares too. Libra, Moon in Libra is personal relationships. It's all about personal relationships. And then Libra is opposed to Uranus and Aries, so those were very, very changeable for him. And then Uranus is squaring his stellium in Cancer. So that's a really hard square. That's a really tough square. I mean, I have that square going on. And that square is just to my moon. But he had the square going on to, Mars and Jupiter and Pluto. So, but in spite of it, he's very, very strong. Very strong. And he made a mark in history. Very dynamic chart. So, yeah, let me just scroll down. All that Earth gave him structure. Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, he was able to build structure through his Neptune musical career. In fire, he had Uranus and Aries, making a stamp with his personality in spite of his handicap. In air, he had the moon in Libra, making him a charmer. He was a charmer with women. Women just loved him. And he used his moon in Libra, excuse me, and his Venus in Scorpio. He used that with women. So it gave him a charming personality, but that's his only air. And Earth, he has Saturn, structure in Capricorn, the ruler, and he has Sun, Mercury, and Neptune, all in Virgo, giving him some health issues that he had to overcome and endure, and accept. But they helped to make him the man that he is, and that he was. He did die from liver failure and had an addiction going on, but we all have stuff. We all have stuff, but there's only one unique. It's like the blueprint of your soul. It's like a fingerprint. There's only one, Ray Charles. He's primarily earth, and water, and the earth and water are sextile, easy flowing, harmonious aspects. So that helped him. So his water is Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto. It's expanding, the loss of his mother and just his home life, and that was a struggle for him. But music rescued him and saved him. It gave him grace. And Venus in Scorpio too. So yeah, that gave him incredible intuition, sensitivity, good luck with women. And so he used that as well. But he also used it to read, his inner vision, to just sit down at a piano and just hammer it out. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.